Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for December 22nd, 2022. We're here on Cathy's website to access the Zoom call, which is a demonstration of the SRC4u software. We're going to scroll down and we're going to look for this Zoom banner. Now we're going to click here, and this is going to take us where the meeting will be in progress. If you would like information on the SRC4u software or a free demo, please contact Cathy. Cathy has also written books on the SRC4u software, and there is a book that is in honor of Ray Foley called Wisdom of the Words to Ponder. To complement the software is called the Shift Pin. Ask Cathy about that when you inquire about the software. If you're not ready to purchase the software and you're not ready to demo it, but you'd like the benefits of the SRC4u software, Cathy has a group called the SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group. It is a monthly fee. You can quit at any time, but you're basically in the software every month, every day of every month that you participate, and you can watch Cathy on Mondays and Thursdays at 10:30 Eastern Time demo the software, where you'll see a word called Client Group. And you're in it. You don't see your name, but you can watch as she demonstrates the software. Cathy's on Twitter. You can follow her posts on Twitter by subscribing to her Twitter tweets. I'm going to enter the call. It will be live. Please lower the volume on your speakers. One moment, please.
I'm not able to show you where we left off because we were out of things. We did not have any more room, but we're ready for a fresh scan today. We're going to be looking at children's issues, but I do want to show you we're including family members, business, crystals, jewelry, and I thought surely we're just going to focus on children's issues, but look here, we wanted the December startup scan again, and next week maybe we can look into what we want to focus on for January. But this December scan, we have asked for a lot of energy from this. So if we go in here, is this it? It's the children's issues. Got a lot happening here. This is what we asked for. We want the blessings cocktail. Look at that again, this genetic trauma that is over and over, and that's what led us into looking into children's issues. You know, the Bruce Lipton in the Biology of Belief talks about his discovery that actually made him believe there could be a God, that it's actually all environment. We do come in coded. We come in with genetic coding, but it's actually different forms of environment that kick most of it in. And so the fact we've asked for this, of course, we're going to accept this image, but it got to where I thought maybe we need to look into some childhood issues, some things that make us more vulnerable to what we came in programmed with. It would be just like if you came in programmed for diabetes and then lived on sugar, you get the idea. The love in the home image. This is an interesting one, and the Chinese say there is only one disease, and it's self-hate. And it's amazing how many people somehow, through probably no fault of anybody, because, you know, we as children make judgments based on our capacity, but it's amazing how many people ask for this code. So if we go here now, we see it's going to raise up. We might want to check. We'll see if we want to do the B2 for this one too, to really focus over the weekend on this one. But it does look like it, you know, it's balancing itself out very nicely, but no, we're just going to do the P4. The discarnate scan we want, and then the 0 point.
a 0 point again, please?
The best I can explain it, 0 point is where you're in the perfect spot for manifestation. And there might be someone on the call that can explain it a lot better than that.
When you say the certain spot, you're talking about physically or?
No, this would be etherically.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with balancing of yin and yang?
Partly, I'm sure that's a part of it, but it goes deeper. That'll be a good area of focus someday for me personally. But years ago, I worked with scalar laser technology. I'm sure some of you did too. It was real big in the biofeedback group. And that's what Paul always preached, was that the light got you into 0 point, at which point your self-healing kicks in, your manifestation kicks in, etc.
I think this is all about phi, P-H-I.
Could be. Okay, thank you. A lot to figure out for me, but I do remember what Paul talked about. And you see, we are asking, and that's a little bit of a chronic stress anytime you have a 98 or 99. So we're going to take actually the B2 on that, and let's just see if I'm not going to get it going now, too much happening, but I'm going to make myself a note. And then the discarnate scan. And again, this is all in the unseen world, and it's interesting that around the holidays, I don't know why, you see a lot more of this kind of stress.
Around the holidays, the playing cards that are at play every day are in the heart suit.
Ah.
Especially on Christmas Day, it's the 6 of Hearts. And then it starts actually at the King earlier, and then every day goes down. Eventually, let's say the 28th is the 3 of Hearts, the 29th is the 2, 30th is the Ace of Hearts, and then the 31st is actually the card of the Joker.
Really? Thank you. That is fascinating.
Yep.
Touch on that, if you will, Peter, while we're doing this. Some of them may not be familiar with these Destiny cards.
Well, they're the playing deck, but that we're used to playing poker and etc. But it's an ancient knowledge having to do with 52 broken up into 13s, and so according to our birth dates and the dates of the year, cards fall on particular days. So the end of December is the heart suit, and every day is a day where the heart runs lower. So if you're born on any of those days, those are the cards that you play all your life. But every day is a card that we're playing that day anyway. And so it's good to know that one of the reasons why this is such a tumultuous emotional time is that every day is a heart day, and even the 6 of Hearts is an alignment of 2 columns of 3 hearts, and because of that, everybody wants everything to be correct, but because if it's not correct, they'll be upset. So that's why families have trouble on Christmas, because everybody wants their hearts to be in alignment and family together, etc. But if you're not in alignment, it stands out, and that's where there's all kinds of fuss about love.
You know, I have a client in particular that won't stop talking about the physical problem, which we pretty much know how powerful our words are. And that ideally, when you have a physical stress, you want to be aware of it, but you want to then let it go. And we pulled up her card one day, and I can't recall the exact card, but that's the characteristic of, well, shoot, I'm able to remove this top. That's the exact characteristic of her nature, is to complain and go on about things.
Well, you know the cards. And
So
it's amazing how true they are to everybody's personality.
Well, I think I said when I first ran across these cards, and I was just on the road, I like books, and I'm stopping at any bookstore, and the place I went in turned to be kind of a New Age place, and I'm like, oh, brother. And then I saw this big book by Robert Camp on the playing cards, and I'm sorry to say, I thought, what will these New Age people think of next? And then I opened to my birthday. It described me totally. And I'm like, sold, but...
And you and I have the same card, so it describes
Yes.
both of us totally.
Yes. So now I'm going to show you with this Carnet scan, and this would be an example. We don't want to fight anything or focus on anything. We just want to clear it. And it's interesting, I have found, I like to put a little, if I take any of these long scans and just put them in the sustenance balancer, and then clear them again, a whole bunch is gone, sometimes all of it. And so what happens, it just points out how significant our diet is, and the fact that so much of our diet we're going to have to do a little extra care for, and probably bring in some technology because of the way our food is processed now. But this has been very interesting to me personally, to go in with the sustenance balancer, do the clearing, scan it again, and see what happens. And we'll do that today. I'm going to let this 1 minute go.
Did anybody watch Raymond Grace on the Tucson Dowsers recently? October, I think.
I'm still saving it. I will get it, but I haven't yet. What did he say about this?
Well, it was he was talking about like his daughter and how he said she could have I don't even remember what it was, a Coke or something, if she could make the Coke be 100% beneficial or 90% beneficial to her body.
Mm-hmm.
And so he taught her, like, well, you can do that once in a while. And he turned around a couple hours later and she was having another Coke, and he's like, well, did you make that beneficial to your body? And she said, I made anything I eat beneficial to my body. So there's just a huge power in
Oh, I love it.
lining it up.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, and we can do that. You know, there's the story. Who is it? I have trouble remembering his name. The guy who wrote the books about the Ho'oponopono Ono. They call it Joe something. And he talked about when the guy came from Hawaii to give a seminar, and all he had, is it Joe Vitale? All he had in town was this little fast food restaurant. And he took him there, and the guy had 2 hot dogs for breakfast. And he said, well, I'm sorry we didn't have a better place for you to eat. He said, oh, this is perfect. I have 2 hot dogs for breakfast every day, or something like that. And I just clear it with my Ho'oponopono. So who knows? Now here's this genetic trauma again. And just recently, we've been really consistent in wanting this. Let's see, do we want to? You can always check to see if you want to add it to any. Yeah, we'll take it right in the sustenance balancer. So let me make myself a note. And we'll go over all the rest, but I want to show you first, and I'm probably going to put my foot in my mouth with this. I'm going to look at some of we're going to go into children's issues and look at some of the genetic trauma, but I'm going to make a statement that there may be no greater genetic trauma than what they are now doing with the vaccinations in approving them for children. Do your own research. It's documented what has happened to some of these children. It goes further than that. And from what I'm reading, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm reading, is they did have adverse reactions, and they have camouflaged them, but you can still find them, and it's concerning. So talking about childhood trauma, there's your trauma right there. What is happening to our children? And I'm sorry if that offends anybody. Do your own research. And I'm trying, I hope maybe to get this to Joanna today, to do a post on why so many won't consider this. They cannot possibly consider that the very institutions they've always trusted could be doing something like this. That's the ego. The ego is totally left-brained, and it is a big storehouse of data. It's our computer operator, actually, for our own system. And what happens, it just like any computer operator, its primary job is to preserve the data. So there you have the people that will not even look at this information. And there's something to be said about that too. I just want to mention that. There's your trauma. Look into it yourself. From what I'm seeing, they had to approve these children's vaccinations because that then gives immunity to future lawsuits. Is that right? Does anybody else know anything about that? No? You know, I guess the point is we want the awareness. I don't think there's anything. In fact, let's just for the heck of it go in here. We've got a restore cocktail. Let's see if it's a priority. And that's in reference to any stress that might occur from the vaccine. Okay, yeah, we'll take it. Let's just do it. And I will share, let me get this in there first. Let's see if we want a scan to give us any more information. Nope, we're good. Let's see if we want the shedding cocktail. And I will share, before COVID started, there was a group of us women who met once a month for breakfast. And we hadn't done this for 3 years now. So this Sunday, 4 of us met. Two of them were vaccinated. I'm not vaxxed. There was one other person that isn't. And I didn't give it much thought, actually. It was wonderful to see them. We sat in a booth and had our breakfast. But I scan myself every morning. Monday morning, I was filled energetically with graphene oxide. So I have the lady also with tinnitus, and shedding seems to be a big stress for her. But when I Googled any nutrition that would be appropriate, Google says the shedding is a myth. And yet, it continues to show up in many scans. And, you know, animals as well. So it's just all stuff to think about. That's all I want to say in reference to trauma. But then another thing, and I don't know if any of you all have noticed this or not, I'm wondering about our Grab-A-Voy program. I love it. You know, I love these codes. But it seems like lately, everything we put in comes up. And I don't know what to think about that. Usually it's a little, there are plenty that they don't have a code for and they later develop them, but they're now automatically coming up, and I just hope they are still legitimate. That's, you know, the thing is we can't just blindly trust without checking things out. Now this is, I've got just a few so far, and this is the thing that the very often the childhood trauma leads to is addiction in one form or another. So we are asking to remove addictions. We're asking to heal trauma from childhood environment. Let's put that in here. But then let's go up here as well. We also have healing codes, and I got some of these from Scribed. And let's look at these. And that this list will grow. But like I say, if anybody has any further insight on these Grab-A-Voys, I hope they're still good and that we're not now getting some automatic computer generation that even if so, the words are good. Words are powerful.
Well, you can also douse for them.
Yes.
Use the pendulum, or you use a dowser on SRC and ask about them.
Yes, and are you talking one at a time?
Yes.
One number? Yeah, that's a time-consuming effort, but definitely that's what Lloyd Meir does, or did. And that's true.
Is he still alive?
No. We, at this moment in time, and it's interesting, and maybe this is some of our feedback, we did not ask for any of the healing codes, but we did ask for some of these. So, I find that interesting. And then you can always check, because all of us may have a little of this in us. Not too bad, though. We're looking pretty good there. And this is simply a lost and vulnerable child. So we can just go ahead and add these things. But we'll have some work to do on this. Let's go now again. Let's see how our sustenance balancer is first. Well, we're running a little more time before we can double check that. And all of us know that this is from the blueprint, which it turns out the unseen world is far more impactful than the physical. So we did automatically preserve the theme. I mainly check that preserve theme and options and manual to see if we want a manual control, because it'll pretty much automatically do this or that for us. Energetics, water element, synchronization. And if you come to there's a ton of childhood trauma information stored in the meridians. You don't need that scan. Just check that blood pressure, because that's been coming up a lot for people. We probably want to do a little something. A lot of energy going on. Okay, I'm going to have to clear something. You can always check your not really. also, as you see the various organs come up, it doesn't hurt to check. Amp that up a little bit. And it doesn't hurt. Very often with the B2, just to include some cocktails for life force. No, not quite. Anyway, you get the idea here. This work will continue. This gives you an idea where we are. We're almost at the end. Once again, doesn't hurt to check the life force of the adrenals. And this is all at this moment in time. Again. If we can get down here, taking a lot of levels. Let's see if we can get down to the summary real quickly. Immunity. So again, we want to stay on top of that. No. Okay, so yeah, good old sustenance balancer. You can do a lot with that. Let me just see real quickly. Almost done. Let me show you a couple of things to think about in reference to the child issues. We know addiction is tied in very much with the childhood trauma, because there's every effort to protect yourself from these feelings. I want you, maybe we need to talk one day also about narcissism, because it could very well be that parents aren't making any effort to protect their children. They're too caught up with their own issues. We might want to look into that they say is a frontal lobe issue, and so on and so forth. I just want to touch on that, and I'm looking for any help anybody can give me on issues we need to take a look at.
Look in the cocktail AMH aspect healing.
Oh, thank you. Let's see if we want it today. Not today, but yeah, that is a good one. Thank you. I forgot about that one. And then let's just look for the heck of it real quickly. Well, I'll have to scan and put it in our notes because we're still going on that. But typically, like I said, when you run it through the sustenance balancer and scan this again, you find that you're clear, or very often just one or two issues left. So the nutrition plays such a huge part in all of this. Any other thoughts?
Thanks, Cathy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Cathy. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and blessings to you all.
This concludes the demonstration of the SRC4u software. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care, and most of all, be well.